Hello everyone, welcome to third lecture of our basic series. Today we will be learning about object oriented programming. So let's take a look at what we'll be learning in this lecture. First we will be learning about class and object. After that, access specifiers, scope of variables, constructor, and in the end we will be coding our example. So let's get started. Class. What is a class? A class is an organized mechanism of storing your code and provides you reusability of the code. So a question arises is that how? So we'll find that out in our example. And a class can contain methods, variables, constructors, etc. So here is an example of how a class looks. So here we have declared our class my class, which has one variable abc and a method which returns some hello world. So moving on to object now. Object is an instance of your class and it contains copy of your class and stores the data. So whenever you want to whenever you want to create multiple objects of your class, it will be very helpful this way. And it can have single or multiple variables of each class, and this way it provides you a little mechanism to reuse your code. So here is an example of object declaration. So we created object of our class my class here, which is named my object. And as you can see in this first line, we have only declared our object and not have initialized it. So it is in uninitialized state right now. And after that, when we pass this new keyword and call class name, here we can see in the second line. So my object equals to new my class, and now this is initialized. And after that, after initializing your object, you can call your methods, you can call your variables, print them out, etc. So always remember to initialize your objects first before calling your code. So that's a little thing to keep in mind. Moving on to access specifiers. Access specifiers. In Java, we have four types of access specifier. First is public. Public means access will be available to all other classes and packages. We will learn about packages in our upcoming videos. After that, we have private access specifier, which means access will be available only within the class, not outside the class. After that, we have protected, which means access will be available within the class and package, and if inherited, then available to child class only. After that, we have default. Default means it will be available within the class and package, and if no access specifiers are specified, then it will take default as the default specifier. Moving on to scope of variables. So first we have class variables, which means it is accessible within the class, which also depends on which access specifier is defined with the variable. After that, we have method, which means only accessible within the method, not outside the method. So if you try to access such a local method variables outside your method, it will just show you, it will just throw you some error. After that, we have block variables. Block could be your if condition block, your looping block, it could be any block, which means it is only accessible within your block of code, not outside of it. Which uh, moving on to constructor now. So constructors are special method which is called once when object of your class is initialized. So It is a special type of method which is most commonly used for initialization purposes, to 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 assign values to your variables, to declare some constant variables. So it is used for such purposes. And one class can have multiple constructors with different parameters, and constructor never returns any value, and it goes by the same name as your class name. So if your class name is my class, then your constructor name will be my class also, without any access specifier. So moving on to our example question here. So today's question is, create a program which takes string input from user and identify vowels from string and replace it with star symbol and display the string with the number of vowels found. So here we have output of our example. So let's take a look. So first it says enter string to find vowels, and we have input. Our string is it's raining outside, and the number of vowels found in your string are 8. And as we can see here, it replaced all vowels with the star symbol there. So let's code our example. Okay, so here I am at my text editor. So let's create our class first. So class find vowels, and let's declare it public. So first let's create a main method. So public static void main string args, and let's take a look at what we will doing in this program here. So first take input from user. After that, count number of vowels found in string, and replace replace vowels with star symbol. So let's take input from user. So we will need scanner class for that. Let's initialize and create object, and also import our scanner class. So import java.util.scanner, and now let's take input from user. So system.out.println, enter a string, and let's actually grab the input. So sc.next line, and let's store input in variable name vowel. So we are good to go here. After that, we need to count number of vowels in our string. So let's create a variable integer count, and we need to create a method in our class find vowels, and that method will actually count number of vowels in our string. So let's create object of our class also. So find vowels obj equals to new find vowels, and here we are going to pass some dummy string with while creating our object. So it will call constructor of our class. So calling constructor of class, which will take one parameter, which will be a string, as we have passed a string, dummy string here. So our constructor will will have one parameter, and after that let's call our method count. So obj.count, and let's initialize our count variable with whatever our method returns, and which will take our string vowel as parameter. After that we need to replace our vowels with star symbol. So obj dot replace, which will also be our method in our class, and which will also take our vowel as parameter. And after doing this, we are going to simply print our output. So system.out.println. So let's say number of vowels found in your string are, and here we print our count variable, and system.out.println, we will print our string, our replaced string. So print vowel, and after this we need to print our dummy string. So let's create variable dummy string, and let's print it here also. So system.out.println dummy, which is our class variable, and after this it's all done. So let's move to our class part. So first create our constructor here. So it will be same as our class name. So find vowels, and it will take our string dummy as parameter, and let's initialize our class variable. So this dot dummy equals to dummy, which means this dot dummy refers to our class variable dummy here, and the variable dummy in our method parameter refers to our string which we passed in our constructor while creating our object. So this keyword, it is used to refer to our current object of our class. So it will refer to our string dummy there. And now let's create our method. So it will be count, and let's define it as C in uppercase. So it should be, yeah. So this is fine now, because our both variable has our variable count also had the same name, and our method also had the same name. So you don't want to do that. And here we declare our variable count, initialize it to 0. So we will return our variable count in the end. And now let's run a loop. So let's run a for loop actually. So run a for loop and find number of vowels in your string. So I'll say for integer I equals to 0, and I is smaller than vowel dot length, which means we are calling string dot length actually. So vowel dot length I plus plus, and after that we need to put some condition. So if vowel dot character at char at, which means character at I, equals to a, which is our vowel. So we need to do that for our every vowel. So let's just copy paste this. So let's copy this and let's paste it here. So A, E, I, O, and U. So which will be our vowels. So it will run our loop, and it will be keep checking for every occurrence of our vowels. Let's also check for our uppercase vowels also. So A, E, I, O, U, and remove that. And after that, in our if condition, we're simply going to increment our count variable. So first it will be at 0, and after that it will it will keep increasing if any vowels found. And let's save it, and let's run our code and see if we have any errors. So Java C, find vowels. Okay, so looks like we have two errors. Cannot find symbol, which means we didn't created our method yet. And here I messed up a little. So it should be obj.dummy instead of just dummy, because it is a class variable, not a static variable. So let's create our second method, which is replace. So string replace, and which will take our vowel as parameter, and it will return our vowel there. So I will say return vowel, because our return type is vowel, and which is a string. So vowel equals to vowel dot replace all, replace all. Okay, and here we pass our vowel A and replace it with star. So it will replace every A in our string with star. So let's just check it. Okay, I forgot to save our code. So let's save this, and it should be fine now. Okay, looks good now. So let's do for our every vowel. So vowel equal to vowel dot replace all. So E, A, E, I for O, and U will also need that for our uppercase vowels also. So let's keep doing this until we are done for our every vowel. So A, E, I, O, and in the end it will be for U. Okay, so looks good to me now, and our both methods are ready. So let's save our code first and just compile our code. Let's see if we have any errors. So let's clear this, and let me zoom this a little. Okay, so Java C, find vowels. Looks good. Let's run our output. So Java find vowel, and it's raining outside. Okay, so it says number of vowels found are 8, and it replaced our every vowel with our string, and we can also see our dummy string there in our output. So let's take a look at what we did. So execution first rule, execution begins from main method. So every object oriented program will execute from main method. So First we did import of our scanner class, then we grabbed our variable, grabbed our string. Then after that we called our constructor there and passed a dummy string there. After that we wanted to count number of vowels in our string, so we created a method named count, which will count our vowels and return number of occurrences. And after that we wanted to replace our vowels with a star symbol, so we created our method replace, and which takes our string vowel as parameter and replaced every vowel including uppercase one with our star symbol. And after that it is just the printing part, so we printed our vowels, uh, number of vowels found, which is our count. And after that we printed the replaced string. And just let's execute it for another string. So I'll say hello world, how's it's going. Number of vowels found as 7. So this brings us to end of this lecture. So I hope you understood the program and the actual idea behind the object oriented programming. And if you still have any doubts, and if you are struggling anywhere, if you are stuck somewhere, and if you need some help, so be free to ask me. I'll be always there at our group. And thank you for watching. So I'll see you guys in the next video.